All right, so good afternoon, everyone. Good morning. It is good morning in Denver, good morning in California, and it is already, what, past 7 p.m. in Cameroon. So good evening for our friends across the oceans. And if you're joining from the US and from the East Coast, good afternoon. My name is Jude Fokwang. I am the executive publisher at SPS. And it is my pleasure to welcome you all to this event. It's a twin event. In fact, I can say it's a triplet of an event. So the first, of course, is to launch this book by Kefen Buji. So this was the first fiction we published when Spears was founded over 10 years ago. That's the first thing. Secondly, we are celebrating the 10th anniversary of the book. And then third, we are also commemorating the International Day of the African Writer. So that's why I said it was a triple event. And so congratulations to all the writers who are here. And a good number of my team members here are all authors in their own right. And our author today was the first to be published by this house. So she will always retain that title as the first person to be published by Spear. So that's amazing. And she is my younger sister and a fellow anthropologist. And I'm very proud of what she's accomplished over the years. And so I want to take this opportunity to welcome everybody. And for those who are encountering Spears for the first time, we are a very proudly Afrocentric platform. We promote African cultural production. We basically call ourselves a platform for alternative voices, meaning that we want to provide space for those voices that otherwise would not be heard to be heard in the marketplace of ideas. And so if you have a manuscript that you think would fit within our scope, feel free to reach out to us. And you can learn more about what we do, what we publish by going to spearsbooks.org. You can also go to our social media platforms. We are on X, on Facebook, on Instagram, and we recently tried our hands at TikTok too. We hear that's where everybody's going. So, and so that's kind of the platform. We publish titles. We publish fiction, poetry, drama, as well as narrative nonfiction. And so for a list of our portfolio, please visit any of those platforms that I've just named, and you will get to see what we do. So I think with that said, I'm going to retreat into the background. We have someone who will handle this event, and we want her to be introduced. So I'm going to call on my darling wife, who is also the managing editor at SPS, Lillian, to introduce her namesake. Thank you.
Sure, thanks. Okay. It is my honor and privilege to introduce the one who will coordinate today's conversation and launch. And she comes with a huge reputation. So, Professor Lilian Atanga Lim, or as we call her, Lim. She's an associate professor and researcher on gender, discourse, and politics. She's a senior researcher at the University of Free State in Bloemfontein, South Africa, a visiting professor at the Pan-African University, I'm going to not say this word, Temken, Algeria, and also chair of the Coalition for Dialogue and Negotiations. She was a Fulbright scholar at the University of Florida and obtained her PhD from Lancaster University. She's very widely published, and her most recent work published along with other scholars is looking at tradition, struggle, and change. The title is Legalization of Human Rights in Africa, the institutionalization of laws prohibiting state-sanctioned violence and torture. She has a PhD in linguistics from the Lancaster University in the UK. and she's an advocate for gender equality and inclusive governance. So she's really been actively engaged in public scholarship, in civil society work, and she's also a published author, poet with Spears books. Um, Her poetic, scholarly, and creative writing reflect a deep connection to culture, justice, and transformation. She is a thought leader whose work continues to influence policy, academia, and literature across the continent and beyond. So she is really, really well placed to coordinate this launch today, um, of Kefen's book. So please join me in welcoming Professor Atanga.
Thank you, Lee. Usually Jude will say, Lee will say, which one? Give it another name. So, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this book launch. Jude said it's a triplet event. I want to say it's a quadruplet event. It's 10 years today that I coordinate the first book launch of this book. And to add it again, that was my very first book launch that I worked in. So it's 10 years of so many good things. I didn't know who, I call her Buji. I didn't know who Buji was. I had never met Jude face to face before. And I sat, and we had been collaborating anyway. And I sat, and he said, okay, I'm sending you this book. You read it. There's a book launch. I would like for you to be part of it. And I'm like, okay, I get the book. I read the book. I loved it. And that book is still so relevant today. That book looks at the life of a young girl who is caught up between cultures, who is caught up between her loves, her past love and her current love. And that love then was the love she loved in the village, and the new love, which was the love of the son of a colonial master. And I want to look at us today to think we have left loves in our villages, in our countries, in our past, wherever that past is. And we are embracing new loves, and we are conflicted between staying faithful to the old love and this new love. But I want to tell you that I have stayed faithful to my love for Buji, to my love for her writing, and to my love for all her creativity, and most recently, the very renowned Dr. Buji of anthropology with a really brilliant PhD topic. So we are going to call on Dr. Gerard Ndikintum to introduce the author. I think I've said a little too much, but I had to say my own bit because I'm burning with a lot to talk about her. So Dr. Gerard Ndikintum, you're welcome. Please introduce our author for us.
Can you unmute yourself?
Unmute yourself. You will need.
Yeah.
Can you hear?
Okay. Yes, it's good
All
now.
right. Thank you, Professor Asanga, right? Atanga.
Atanga.
Sorry. Coming to you from Virginia, USA. And I have this this task of introducing Dr. Kefen Buji. Of all the things anyone around me has done in the recent past, this was by far the most enjoyable, being asked to introduce her. But it was also very challenging because there's so much to see just to introduce her for people that do not know her. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to just pick a few things and talk about them to help those that are on this forum that do not know her yet to get to know her. And just to tell you how complex she is as a person, that's one of the kind of people that we call 3D characters. There's so much complexity about her. It's difficult to compartmentalize her and put her in a specific box. So what I did was I took a few things that I knew about Kefen, Dr. Buji, and put in AI. And I said, AI, can you give me 5 adjectives to use to describe this person? AI said, I will talk the one for pigeon. I'm like, what do you mean? AI said, I will talk this one for pigeon. I'm like, go ahead. And AI said, how you did so? You talk, say, make I talk about one person, and then you describe 5 people. How? So that's how to tell you that even AI got confused in trying to, get descriptors for this young rising star in our family, in our academic society. Well, who is Kefen in terms of academic pursuit? Kefen started as a secondary school teacher, taking after her dad of blessed memory, literature and English teacher, 10 years in Cameroon. And while she was teaching, you would not believe the number of things she was doing at the same time. She was an international judge for Smiling Faces International Write Liberia competition for 3 years. They were writing fiction and poetry. She was a judge. She was into creative writing, and that is how Boundless came along. She was into presenting papers at conferences and seminars in Europe, in Africa. She was publishing articles in peer-reviewed journals. She is like so many people put in one petite body. Now you understand why AI got confused. Have you ever had someone in your orbit that is much younger? She's a pride of everyone. But then she does so much that you look at her and you're like, who are you? Who are you really? What is it that drives you? Maybe that's a question we're going to find an answer to today. But this lady is just so full of energy. When you look at her, you wouldn't know. But the one thing that stays constant with her is that she has this infectious smile about her. And I can tell all of you, I've known her from birth. I don't know if she has a bad day. And if she has, I don't think I've ever seen it because she always has this smile and this soft word. And then behind that facade, I think her brain is like several, I don't know, data centers put together working. And so I'm not too surprised because she's gotten up to where she is. But when I first read Boundless, when Yvonne first told me about Boundless, I immediately went on Amazon, got a copy, and started reading. And I'm like, yeah, I can see this. I can associate myself to this and that. Long and short, she has not stopped. Academic wise, she has so many accolades. In Cameroon, we call those great chevrons that the military and others put on their shoulders, we call them galons. If Dr. Kefen Buji was in Cameroon, her galons would span the whole length of her body, not just her shoulders, not just her arms, in terms of what she's been able to do. Is it starting off as a professor at the college, secondary school teacher, or getting 3 master's degrees, some in anthropology, some in cross-cultural communication? What is it that she hasn't done? She seems to be unable to not go for and harvest some of the diplomas she meets around her. She just goes for these things. The fact that she's currently an assistant professor in the Department of Sociology and Anthropology do not surprise me at all. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Dr. Kefen Buji and expect many more things to come from her. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gerard. And yes, I was going to talk about that infectious smile. If I were to paint a picture of a smile, I would paint her smile. I don't think I found a smile as beautiful as yours, Buji. Let us see it. So now, Buji, we are going to give you some time to tell us about yourself and about the book and about 10 years after the first launch, which was in Bamenda. You have the floor.
See?
Please unmute yourself.
Okay, sure. Okay, thank you very much, Professor Tanga. Thank you very much, Uncle. Thank you very much, everyone. I am so overwhelmed, I am so humbled, and I am so grateful that you have all taken time to be with me today to celebrate 10 years of Boundless. Thank you so much. Thank you, Spears Media, for trusting me as much as I trusted you to publish my work. Thank you so much for holding my hand, for leading me through this process. I will remain ever grateful for this. Thank you, everyone who has attended. People have joined from Cameroon, Canada, Germany, the UK, Kenya, Zimbabwe, many states in the USA, from all over. I am so grateful. Thank you so much for taking the time to be part of this. Also, thank you so much, CCCBA, NASC, Mbekuda, Dada, Shinoni, all the groups. Thank you so much for being here. As most of you know, I will always say, with you, I am everything, and without you, I really am nothing. And I truly mean that, because my journey as an in academics, but also as a writer and as a person, has had instances where you've all held my hand in one way or another. And I remain eternally grateful for that. 10 years ago, Ma Atanga was at my book launch, and she delivered a very powerful analysis of the book. From time to time, I sat and I was like, oh my God, did I really write that? Like, I couldn't believe what she did with my work. I remember at that time when I was given the chance to talk, I said that this was my baby. I said my book was my first baby, and I was letting my baby out into the world, and I asked everyone to please handle my baby with care. It's been 10 years and I still have this feeling towards my baby. That's my book, Boundless. I have published other stuff, but this will always remain forever in my heart. It always has first place in my heart because it was a book that was dedicated to my parents, my dad of blessed memory now, and my mom. And so Boundless for me is a journey of my people. When I say my people, I am not just talking about Cameroon or about Noni or about Jotun, or, I am talking more about everyone in the world who has experienced change and upheaval in one way or another. In Boundless, I focus on Samarah's love, but that is just a microcosm for a much bigger love. I explore issues that deal with colonialism, with cultural contact, but also with depths of forgiveness and depths of relating to one another. Writing for me has always been very cathartic, and it has always been a means through which I can share my thoughts and I can really delve into issues that I find important. And I would say Boundless for me gave me a forum to do all of that and a lot more. I'm not going to take time to say a lot about the book, but I just want to say, first of all, I am really grateful that you all are here, and I don't take any one of you for granted at all. I am very grateful for the part you've played in my life. I'm very grateful for the constant support, and I am grateful that you've dedicated 2 hours to spend with me today. To everyone who's made this a success, thank you, thank you, thank you. And looking forward to interacting with you a little later. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, Buji. Um, please keep the smiles coming, the love flowing, the claps coming in. Thank you. And we are going to have a musical interlude, and we will call on our control room to give us something before we move to the next part of the book lunch. Are we getting there?
Yes, 1 second.
Knowing that our love is boundless.
Wanna give me 10 yo, 10 oh yeah, oh yo, ayo, 10 wanna give me 10 ayo, 10 oh yeah, ayo, 10 wanna give me 10 ayo, 10 oh yeah, oh yo, ayo, 10 $10, oh, 10 euro, 10 oh yeah, 10 for my head, oh. I said 10,000 for head, oh. I said 10 for my head, oh. We got take am for currency. We could bring am for pounds, oh, euros, oh. Whether na dollars, oh, what's the ever, oh. 10 for my head. I 10 for head, oh. I said 10,000 for head, oh. 10 for my head. Wanna long send me for inside, mama. My mobile money, oh, I go give am, oh. I say cash up, oh, na bamba, oh. Paper loan, na legit, oh. If na Bitcoin, na instant pay, oh. Wanna me bola sawa, oh. I'm a baby, oh. So now this
Moderator, over to you.
Thank you very much. We are going to move to the next phase of the book, which is the launch of the book. I need to get this going. Okay, I'm sure you can see it now. So thank you very much, Dr. Evelyn Buji-Kefen, for this wonderful book, Boundless, which we are officially launching now. Let's give Buji, we can unmute everyone. We give Buji a loud applause and congratulations for this book before we go to commercializing the book. Congratulations, Buji.
Congratulations.
Amazing. Great work. Very cool. Very cool. We love it.
Congrats.
Congratulations. We love it so much. You're doing great things.
Congratulations.
Okay. Can now
Congrats.
Okay.
It's
Control room, we can mute
amazing.
everybody now. Control room, we can mute everybody now, but the congratulations can come with reactions.
Okay.
Control room, thank you for that. Now we are going to give you, I'm sure you're all very anxious. And me, I had to reread the book again. And the reading was, you've matured 10 years. You've seen the world, you've known the world, you've felt feelings. You've seen experiencing, and then you read a book again, and it means some other thing completely from when you read it the first time. This time around, I call on you. I don't know where my first copy is, so that's why I had to get this one. So I call on everyone to get a copy. You get a copy for yourself, you get a copy for your kids, you get a copy for your family, you get a copy for your alma mater, you get a copy for your village library, you get a copy everywhere. And this is how we do book launches here. We know that if you're Cameroonian here, we know ourselves. We know we don't read. So to help people read is not to give them an excuse not to read. This is a good read. Anyone, 8 years old, they can read this book. So let's help people read. Let's buy not just one copy for ourselves, but copies for our different communities everywhere. Buji is going to put her different alma maters in the chat room. If you know that, you can buy it. If not, you can buy for your own school. If you are an ex-student of PSS Mancon, buy from PSS Mancon. for PSS Mancon. If you are GBHS Bamenda like me, buy 10 copies for GBHS Bamenda. So we are going to put, I'll call on the control room to put the different payment methods, Momo for Cameroon, Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, so that wherever you are in the world, whether you're in Europe, China, United States, you will be able to pay for your book. And point of caution, we prefer you buy from the website of Spears, because in doing so, you're not only promoting Spears, you're giving Buji a better benefit and you're saving money. The money you would be giving to Amazon, you would be giving to Spears and to Buji. So the links that will be put on board, we encourage you to buy from those links rather than say, okay, after all, it's on Amazon, I'll go buy on Amazon. When you buy on Amazon, you are not doing Buji any good. So control room, we encourage you, if the links are not yet on chat, please put them on chat. And I'll invite Lillian to handle this part. So please, we call on you to start putting in your orders. And if you've already had your orders and you still want to support Buji, we are going to put another link online, a Zelle link, where you can also give a direct support to Buji, which is not necessarily buying the book. However, the more books you buy, the better for her, because every author wants to be the million copy selling author. I didn't say $1 million, I said million copy selling author. That's the best thing you can do to any author. So we call on you to start putting in your orders. If you put them in the chat room, we will pick them up, or if you raise your hand up, we will also call you up. The floor is open. Oops, did I do something?
Oh, you're sharing your screen.
Yeah, okay.
We have the link in the chat. If you click on that link, you go directly to Spears Books website and you can make a purchase there and pay directly. The website is secure and safe. But if you are not able to, you can also make a purchase by sending money on Cash App, Zelle, Venmo, or PayPal. We've put a QR code there for you to use as well. But one of the best way of getting word out and really getting information about this book is to make a purchase. That's helps spread word about the book and also supports the author. So please make that purchase on the link that has been shared in the chat. And as Leanne said, you can make purchases on behalf of other people. Buy for yourself, buy for friends, buy for family members. It's really good. It's not a genre that we get to read a lot in our community, historical fiction. So it takes a lot to write that kind of work. And as she said, it's her baby. So please support the baby.
Yes.
The baby is 10 years old.
Yes, my heart is beating. I'm waiting to see those orders going online, because the only way I can feel I'm loved is when you show me your love. Love is an action, it's not words. We need that action now. So please show us some love. Put in your orders. And okay. I see Yvonne Buji raised her hand. I don't know if she wants to speak. Yvonne?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay. Hi. I'm so glad to be here. I just wanted to say to support Kefed in her endeavors and Spears Publishing. I want to pledge to get 5 copies of the book so I can give to my library in my village. And
Thank
also
you.
to pledge something for her.
Thank you very much. So, if you are able, we know you pledged, but if you're able to click the link now, it's pretty easy. It's really easy to order. If not, you also put your phone number, then we could get to you if you're not able to do it. So in the chat room, you can put all of that information. If you want to speak out your order, just raise your hand and we'll call you to speak out your order. If not, please just put it in the chat room. And control room, if we were able to.
It's
Yeah.
currently $15. It's discounted for today. So the price is $15 for a purchase of the book.
Yes, Honorine is asking a question, control room.
Audio version, no, we do not currently have an audio version of the book. Unfortunately,
Okay.
It takes a lot more to produce audio than yeah, it takes a lot more to have audio.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
They will have an audio version sometime next year. It's
What?
work in progress.
While we're waiting for people to put in their orders, the next part of the program will come after this marketing part. So we better finish with this and move to the next one. And that will be a very exciting part of the program, which will be reading of excerpts from the book, both by the author and some other persons. Then there will be a book giveaway. Bernard Kui has a hand up. Bernard, you can unmute him so that he can speak.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, Bernard.
Okay, hi everyone. I would like to join Ms. Buji Yvonne in supporting Dr. K by purchasing 5 copies of those hard books that I've heard so much about it. Thank you.
Yep.
I pledge that.
You're doing just the right thing. Thank you so much. A copy is $15. It's been discounted, I think by 25% or so to $15. That's quite affordable. It's less than the cost of having a burger or a pizza, guys, if you are in the United States. So, and that's something you keep forever. A pizza will just add weight to you. The website is on the link. We'll drop it again so that it doesn't get lost. So please, could you put the website again? Yes, the website is there right now. So just click on the website. But please, if you're clicking on the website and buying, let us know so that we can hype it up. Beatrice Wame, you can unmute yourself and speak. You'll be allowed to unmute yourself. Bernard Kui, could you bring down your hand? I know you finished speaking already. Beatrice, you have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lillian. It's a great pleasure for me to be here. Strangely, I had not known about the book. So somebody has an apology to render to me first. And then after that, for now, I don't really know what to do. I try to click on the link to purchase, but it's a kind of warning, allow, don't allow, because I have a strong firewall on the computer that I'm using.
Okay. If you cannot do it directly, you can also just drop your PayPal account or your Zelle or Cash App or whichever.
Okay, I'm trying. Again, it says enter picture in picture automatically. So you can. So I just want to pass for now, but I don't know the number of books I will be taking, but be sure I'm going to get a lot. I want to read first, and then I know whether we can, I in particular, or nascent, we can get a number for our schools in Cameroon and in Malawi. So let me get my copy. I don't know how to get it now. I can, if I'm doing a Zelle, I don't see the Zelle because I saw the QR code for Zelle. So I have to get that QR code and then I see what to do from there. But be sure that I will be taking a copy to vet and then to do a bigger order for other users. I am so proud to be part of this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And for like as a tester, I don't know if there are people here who read Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's Half of a Yellow Sun. If you ever read that book and you loved it, remember it won the Orange Award, I think. This is a reason for you to read this one. It's in the light of such books. First, the language is very accessible. It's an easy and a fast read. It's an unputdownable book. So it's not because I am moderating it. It's because I've read it and I've loved it. We see that some people have placed their orders already. We have Mr. Charles Luanga and Chisa. We are acknowledging your orders. So while we are still waiting for your orders, you can put them in the chat room. I have read all of Ngozi's books. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Then you have a reason to read this and share it. We should promote our own, don't you think? Our own, not just as in Cameroon, but our own that we know, that we're close to. I've read Ngozi, all of her books, but I've never met her. I've never spoken with her. And I'm having an author in front of me. So let's promote our own. I think, any comment?
Can I just clarify something about the sale?
Yes.
I know there are people joining from Europe and they're asking how they can purchase this book. We are not shipping the books from the US. We will ship the book from within Europe. So feel free to buy from our website and we will ship it from within Europe. We have that capability. So if you're in Germany, in the UK, wherever you are, Europe, please, you can still buy the book from our website and we will ship your copy to you. So I just wanted to make that clear.
And please, you don't have to, if you are not yet able to click on the website link to pay now, but have an intention and have an idea of how much you are buying, you could just put the number of books on chat and your contact number, and we will be able to help you purchase the book. I remember the first time I tried buying from Spears, I was not very savvy. I had to meet Spears to help me purchase online for me. So you could just indicate your number of books and your name, and we will reach out to you and help you to purchase the books. And another thing, for orders that are above $50, you have free shipping. And if your orders are many and not going to Cameroon at some point within the year, if you are not able to send, we could help you send them to Cameroon. So for your alma maters, don't be afraid that there's no way to send them home. If you purchase them at some point within the year, we will send them to Cameroon for you. While we are waiting to see your orders coming in, we will have a musical interlude in the background. Control room, can we have something before we move to the next part while we are waiting for people to put in their orders? I am still waiting to see those orders for these very wonderful people who love Buji Ismail, just like me. Control room?
Do you want some music?
Yes, please.
Okay.
A brief musical interlude.
We'll just continue what we had before.
Not be me and you. Coronavirus, not be me and you. I said 10,000 this week, oh. Oh, yeah, what do you long oh, go make it long oh, daddy, oh, make it yet me, oh, make it yet me for last hour, oh, for this last hour, not 10, oh, for Butos, oh, I said 10, oh, for Bobby, oh, Oh, 10 for head, oh. 10 for my head, oh. I say 10,000 this week, oh. 10 for my head, oh. I say happy weekend to all of you. 10 for my head, my mobile money step, I go put a more. 10 for my head, hey, wanna long send me for inside, mom. 10 for my head, hey, Shayla Jum, the one I will you. 10 for my head, hey, 10 for head, oh. 10 for my head, yeah, 10 for put up, so 10 for my head. Ayo 10 for my head. Daddy, 10
If you hear me, we can pause the music now.
10 for my head. Cut down my head. 10 for my head. Cut my brain with the 10.
$10 for my head, $10 for Buji head, $10. That's the language we hear. $10. Okay, thank you guys. We call on you to keep pouring in your requests, your commands for your books. And as you do that, I see someone has placed an order of 3 copies and is completing the transaction on PayPal. And another person has placed an order of 4 copies. That is, we have Lucy Ngongbo. We have Jire Jam. Keep your copies coming, guys. Keep your orders coming in. We are here through to the end of the show to be receiving your copies. As you put them, if you have your contacts, we could help you purchase if you are not able. So we're moving now to part 2. That's a very exciting part. That is the juiciest part. And as you listen, that will motivate you to get your copies. This part is a reading of excerpts of Boundless. Boundless. And as we are waiting for Angelina Faith Filet and Mr. Mokomulu, please get yourselves ready to listen. The first person to read her excerpt is Miss Angelina Faith Filet. Angelina, if you're there, let's focus you, and you have 2 to 3 minutes, 3 minutes at the top to finish your excerpt. Angelina, are you there? Angelina, do we have her? Control room, can you identify her? Raise your hand, Angelina.
On. She's here.
Okay. Angelina,
Hello,
when you're ready,
everyone.
you have the floor. Yeah, hi.
Hello.
Yes,
Can
we
you
hear you,
hear me?
Angelina. We hear you very well.
Okay,
515, just go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I'm in Bamenda right now and we don't have power. So I'll be a bit cut off like that.
We are listening, Angelina. Your voice is boundless. It goes beyond power. It cuts across oceans. So just go ahead and speak.
I just want to say I'm so proud of Doctor, of Big Sister, and I wish her the best. And I wish Boundless actually becomes a sequel. And I hope she's writing and she's working on that, because I would love to read more from her. And also, we are actually trying right now to order copies also from Mobile Money, but we have a challenge with the network.
Is she still speaking? And is she the one to read? While we're waiting for her, could we have Mr. Mokom read his excerpt, please? While we are waiting for her. Control room, could you replace the images? And we have Mr. Mokom read his excerpt.
Sorry, so we do have a recording of Angeline's reading.
Okay.
So we'll play that. And then Mabry also made an announcement. So moderator, you can share that.
People actually have my
Let me play the
yeah.
give me a second to look.
Oh, wow. Please, this is something that cannot wait. I put through an order for UMass that month for 70 copies for my class, World History and African History. My prof, Bridget Table University of Dartmouth. This is what we want. Our own, supporting and promoting our own. Mabry, thank you. Thank you. We need all the African professors in the United States. And there are many. There are so many. I hear names I didn't even know are here in the United States. If we all can bring in our books in here, that would be awesome. Our stories would be heard. Students did not know that during the Holocaust, Black people were also targeted. They thought it was only Jews. It's because we don't tell our stories. It's because our stories do not leave Africa to beyond Africa. Thank you, Mabry, for all that you do. Mabry, if you have something to say, we will really appreciate.
Am I unmuted? Okay. Yeah, greetings everyone. This is really, really a wonderful event, and I cannot applaud our own daughter, our younger sister, Dr. Boujé Kefen, for this wonderful accomplishments. Like I posted on the chat, my students loved this text. I love it. I've read it so many times. I had the original copy and I have this other new 10th edition, and we're all excited about it. And it really, truly is boundless. And I want to congratulate Kefen because she bridges the gap between so many things. She unpacks so many things in this little novel: colonial experience, struggle with personal relationships, and especially the forgiveness and sacrifice that comes with understanding that we are a global community. Because I have a question that my students kept asking me, one that I originally asked, like, how could you fall in love with your tormentor son? How could you fall in love with somebody who killed your parents or even remotely connected to your parents' demise? And we see the growth, we see the transition, we see the process of forgiveness and understanding. And that is something that Dr. Boujé has done masterfully in this test. And so once again, thank you for doing this and for allowing us to be a part of it. Appreciate you, Kefen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mabry. And thank you also to Paulinus Ntutin, who's purchased 10 copies to be sent to GBHS Kumbo. That's what we are talking about. That's what we are saying. Thank you, Julius, Wami, Onella, Catherine Mawo. I don't know how to pronounce that. Is it Mla or Mia Nyo? Please, pardon me. I don't know if it's MLA or MIA. Let me just say, Mr. or Mrs. Nyo, for your orders. Thank you so much. And Mr. Julius Wame just purchased 7 copies for St. Joseph's Catholic School, Jotin. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Mr. Julius Wame. The iconic name I used to know when I'm young. I look forward to meeting you someday, Mr. Julius Wame. Thank you. Kefen, you're so blessed. That smile is doing something, Kefen. And someone says they've tried buying, but they don't see the PayPal option. That's Yvonne Achanking. Please, could you put back the PayPal option? Yes, it's been put on there. So please keep your orders coming. I don't know if Control Room is ready to play the reading of Angelina Faith. If not, then we can have Mr. Mokom. Control Room, are you ready for the video, audio? Thank you.
One second.
When she reached the door, she fell on her knees and sobbed as if her heart could not hold in any emotion anymore.
Are you sharing the screen?
All her kneeling, they stopped.
Yeah, can you hear the sound?
We can hear the sound, but we don't see it.
Oh, okay. Let me fix that. 1 second. Share. Sorry about that.
When she reached the door, she fell on her knees and sobbed as if her heart could not hold in any emotion anymore. When the Nchindas saw her kneeling, they stopped. A small crowd of women and children was gathering. Eme, enuye bonyo. Who can this be, ye gods? The women muttered among themselves. Samarah heard them and raised her face to look at them. One of them gasped, Yella, is that you? Samarah's gaze followed the voice and she saw an old woman leaning on a walking stick and peering at her. She, like the other women, had tied a loincloth over her breasts, but in addition, this woman wore a headscarf. There were lines of age etched into her forehead, and her skin looked wrinkled. For all this, she looked graceful. For a moment, Samarah looked at her. Then, as recognition registered in her eyes, she burst into fresh tears and hurled herself into the woman's arms, almost knocking them both down. The woman was called Ya by all the children of the royal household. She remembered, and she was the oldest wife of Samarah's grandfather, the one her father had considered as his mother when his birth mother died, the one Samarah considered as her grandmother, the one she had always run to when other members of the royal household had been nasty to her. Samarah finally let go of the puzzled woman long enough to say, Buan, it is I, Samarah, Yenla's daughter.
Thank you very much, Angelina. Thank you for the reading. And the stage props were really awesome. You did not only sell the content of the book, but you sold the culture with your outfit and your background. We are going to call on the second reader, Mr. Mokomolu. Please, if you're ready, come on board.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
All
5
right.
on 5.
Awesome. On Sunday, Samarah wore a knee-length white dress, the first dress she had worn since her mother died. She had bought it about 2 months before in the market, but had not wanted to wear it till this day. She looked at herself and laughed. She looked strange, and she felt different. She was already seated in church when Maine and Carl entered. During offertory, her eyes followed Maine, and as he made his way to the offering basket in front of the church. The night he had proposed to her, she had found it rather difficult to sleep. Since then, she had felt pretty awkward in his presence, unsure of what to say or do. However, whenever she thought of him or saw him, her heart would race, and she would always feel a strong desire to be close to him. Was it because Bintum might never come back to her, or was she falling in love with Maine for real? She had fought this thing she felt for him for over a year, but it simply wouldn't go away. The sound of the bell at consecration pierced through her thoughts, forcing her back to reality. She prayed to God with all her heart that she would make the right decision, whether to wait for Bintum whom she still missed terribly, or to give in to her powerful feelings for Maine. After Mass, she left before Maine and Carl came out of the church. She hurried home and assisted Bessem to make lunch. She knew everyone would want to invite Maine's new friend home, and so Maine and Carl wouldn't be back till much later. After they finished cooking, she said she had a headache and didn't wish to be disturbed. Then she went to her room to sleep. That evening, Maine stood at his window towards dusk, lost in thought. The object of his thoughts hurried from the compound. He looked at his watch and frowned. It was 6:30 p.m. Where was she going all alone? Without another thought, he strode out of his room. This woman would always keep him on his toes. Unaware of being followed, Samarah wandered into the woods nearby. She followed a bush track, lost in thought. Of one thing she was finally sure: she was dangerously on her way to falling for Maine Patterson. She found a fallen tree trunk and sat on it. I have to move on. Wham! You, Ba, and Bintum will always have a place in my heart. I will never forget the love and strength you gave me. Maybe it's time for me to let go of the past, to lay it to rest. I've waited so long for Bintum, and I am certain I've lost him forever. Now, there's Maine, whom I care so much about. He has come to mean so much to me, and that scares me. Everyone I love, I end up losing. People always leave. I don't know what to do.
Wow, that's amazing. You picked a real big conflict, a really big conflict that the main character faces. The mind, the heart, the past, the present, and everything. And don't we all face this conflict? At the point where our mind reasons something and our heart takes a different decision, and we don't know which road, and we have to choose a road to take. But we've listened to two people who did not write the book, who only read the book, and who enjoyed portions of the book. But even as a writer, there are portions of a book that you really love. There are portions of a book that you feel that everyone should read that part and feel the way you felt, not only at the time of writing, but when you've written and you sit and you read and you say, wow, did I write that? I love it. Let me read it to everyone. And I think that is just what Buji is going to do now. Buji, you have the floor. Okay, you're unmuted now.
All right. Okay. I am actually going to read the very first words that you see in the book. I am going to read chapter 1 from the start. Okay. Chapter 1, 1910. Wake up, Samarah, child, wake up! The young girl barely heard her mother's voice through the fog of sleep. She was dreaming of herself and some playmates, Bintum included, making catapults in the courtyard of the palace. She rolled over and pulled the hand-knitted quilt over her head, but her mother's voice would not fade away. Please, Samarah, don't sleep. This is not time to sleep. Samarah stirred. forced her eyes open, and then focused them on her mother. The next second, she sprang from the grass bed and watched in growing alarm as her mother flung things here and there, picking bits of cloth up and discarding them without so much as a glance. She could hear the tum-tum-tum sound of the kintong, the talking drum, and it went on and on. Something was very wrong. Nobody played that drum. Not even the chief himself could order the playing of this particular drum except in dire situations. Buan, what is wrong? Samarah had never seen her mother this frantic. Her mother turned to face her. Samarah could just about make out her mother's face in the dim light emanating from the fireplace, but weren't those tears glistening in her eyes? Her mother never cried. She always said tears were for the weak. The white man, child. Samarah's eyes opened wide. Where? Here? Just hurry. Don't stand there so. There isn't time. Here, tie your long cloth. Hurry! Her mother finally put a small bundle together, and she assisted Samarah in tying her loincloth over her budding breast so that it went right down to her knees. Then, with the bundle in one hand and Samarah's hand in the other, she rushed out of the hut.
I was waiting for you to continue. Oh my God. Did someone feel the suspense just the way I did? That was amazing. And please, if you think that you've heard something suspenseful, beautiful, and the imagery is just stunning, I just see Samarah, I see the hurt, I see her going out, I see the mother, I see everything. That is stunning writing. Not just any writer writes like that. People pick up their pens and they just write. This one you see, you feel everything. Thank you very much, Dr. K. I hear that's how they call you. You still my bougie. You still my bougie. So now we'll move to the next phase of the book launch. But before we move there, I want to say thank you to everyone who's been passing their orders from Abongwa Zoni, Derek Winecam. Please, if I miss out your name, it's not intentional. I just want to thank everyone who has been passing their orders and keep it going, guys. Meanwhile, we are going to call on Lee, please, to come for Get to Know the Author. We've been calling Buji, we've been calling Ivoline, we've been calling Dr. K. We will know who really knows her. You claim you know her. Let's see if you really know her. Lee, you
Sure,
have the
sure.
floor.
Okay, thank you. So hi again, everyone. This is a fun segment we have during a launch for all participants to engage in. It's a fun quiz. And how you participate is by joining through the link that's been shared on the chat. So please go there and click on the link. It will take you to a website and then the quiz will start shortly. Okay, so that quiz is open and we're currently waiting for participants to join. And as soon as we get like 10 people, I have one person already. When we get like 10 people, we would start the quiz. Let's see how well you know the author. There might be some little things you just didn't know. Today's the day to find out. So,
Is family participating?
family, yeah, we'll see how much they know. Sometimes you think you know somebody.
Okay.
There's that little detail that you might not know.
Where is the link again, in case people are wondering?
In the chat, we have about 10 people now. Let me...
Yes, the link is www.menti.com.
It's okay, I'll drop it again.
Yeah. I just
just
want to remind them that it's a Menti quiz, so please click on the Menti link.
Yes, click on the link. I'm going to tell you the key thing with participating here is you want to be is speed and accuracy. Okay. Oh, we have 13 people already. Okay. So I think we're gonna go and start. And you will see the scores and the leaderboard. You can unmute.
Oh, wow. Sandra over has her original copy from 10 years ago. That's amazing. Thank
That's
you,
awesome.
Sandra.
Okay, we're going to start. We have 13 people. So the winners will get, we have 2 books we ship within the United States. So those who win, we can only ship within the United States. We have 2 books to give away. The first place winner will get a copy of Desperate Journeys, published by Spears, and it's the book by Perpetua Lula. And the second is a poetry collection by Noor Alembong. It's called Seasons, also published by Spears. Oh, wow, we have 15 people. So I'm going to start. So answer quickly to get more points. Can you all see the screen? Where was the author born? You have 10 seconds left. It's a lot of time. So what's the correct answer? Born in Bamenda. And 4 people got that right. Let's see who those were. So who was the fastest? 4 people got it right. Who was fast? Thomas.
Thomas.
Nice. Okay. Next question. What's the author's favorite food? She's a foodie. What guess is there? Your favorite, obviously. Somebody from that area will love fufu, but my favorite is meat. She's a carnivore at heart. Okay, let's see the 2 people who got that right. Maverick and Derek. So Maverick moves to the top position, and Thomas is now second. Question 3. What city has the author worked in as a teacher? Sorry for that typo there. The author has been a teacher and she's worked in many places. What city? Garoua. 5 people got that right. Wow, nice. Let's see what 5 people. Barefoot Contessa. I wonder who that is. Maverick is still at the top. Yvonne is in second place. Apart from Boundless, what's the author's favorite work of fiction? The Good Food Things Fall Apart, Harry Potter, Pride and Prejudice.
Sanda Eba.
Yeah. P and P. People got that right. Let's see. Yvonne, Charles Lwanga, and now Yvonne is at the top, got it the fastest. Nice. Okay, we have a few more questions to go, so there's still a chance that true or false, the author is scared of cats. Ooh, so many people know that. Okay, who got it fastest? Is it true or false one? So it's quick one to get. Yvonne was still the fastest. Maverick is in second place and Thomas is in third. There's still room. All right, question 6. What year was the first edition of Boundless published? It's not a trick question, I promise. Yeah, do the math.
Just the math.
9 people got that right. 2015, that's why we're doing the 10th anniversary celebration. Okay. Now, Malawi was the fastest. Yvonne is still at the top. Okay, let's see. Question 7. What other types of writing does the author do besides novels? Poetry. Very good. 5 people got that right. Let's see how that changes the leaderboard. If it does. Just longer. Got the fastest, was the fastest, and is climbing up. Yvonne is still at the lead. With Thomas in second place. Question 8. 3 more to go. Where is Boundless set? Those who read it. Seven responses, 8, 9, 10, 11. Any more? That's it. Cameroon and the UK. So 3 people got that right. Please get the book and read and enjoy good historical fiction. Maverick was the fastest. And Charles Longa is getting close to the top. Okay, question number 9. This should be an easy one because it's been talked about here a lot. In which discipline did the author get their doctorate? Whoa. All but one got that right. Congratulations to you all. Awesome, awesome. Thomas got it fastest. Okay, 2 more. Might change things. True or false, the author likes to drink coffee when she's writing. Yeah. I know many people love coffee, but she doesn't. She likes to drink hot water when she's writing. Clarity of mind, clarity of thought, I guess. Let's see who got that. Maverick got it fastest. Awesome. But Yvonne is still at the lead. So last question. It's a bonus question. Which of these universities did the author not attend?
That's a tricky one.
University of Bamenda. 4 people got that right. And that is the last one. So let's see. Oh, wow.
Wow.
One is the winner, and second place is Charles Luanga. So if you
Wow.
want to get a copy of Desperate Journeys by Perpetual Lula, and Charles Luanga will get a copy of Seasons by Noor Alembong. Please drop your shipping address, US shipping address in the chat. Congratulations for knowing the author well, and congratulations to everyone who participated. I'm sure through this quiz you got to know something you didn't know about the author. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Even me, I had some questions wrong, especially the last one. I didn't know that she went to the University of Yaoundé. And now that I think about it, she might have gone to ENS in Yaoundé. Before we move to the next stage, thank you for all those who are dropping their orders. Please keep them going. And next, we are going to have part 3, I think, in which we have Spears come in and tell us about their work that they do, the books that they produce, and how we can get more than just Boundless. We've heard of
Kevin requested that we share who the winners. So these are the 2 winners.
Oh,
Yvonne
wow. Yvonne and Charles. You know Kevin best. Kevin, pay attention. These are your fans. Thank you all. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So you're having your books added to your Boundless that you're going to buy, of course, or you have bought rather. Thank you all so much. So we are going to give the floor to Spears Publishers. Spears, are you ready to come on board? Okay.
Congratulations to the winners. Yvonne, good to see you again. And please do not forget to send your address, okay? So for the winners, please drop your address. We have just shared a link where you can
share it privately
directly. Yeah, if you click that link in the chat, that takes you directly to Spears WhatsApp. So you can also drop anything there. For those who have been making pledges, we appreciate your contribution. We appreciate your support. Please do reach out with your contact information so that we can follow up. We know you really want to support our platform and also to support Kefen. We also have posted the Momo details for those who are joining from Cameroon. So if you're in the chat, just scroll. You should be able to see that. It's very prominent. What else? So for those who are just joining us, if you look in the chat, you would see there's a link to our catalog. We know many of you may not be familiar with our platform. We encourage you to click on that link. You would see our 10th anniversary catalog. It has a long list of our backlist and some new titles. And a new catalog is coming out this November. So stay tuned for that as well. We do have lots of titles that came out this year. Really, really great titles. So in addition to Boundless, which has just been republished, we have some fiction as well as non-fiction that came out this year. So we're really excited to share that list with you. If you want to support our author, Again, please buy from our platform. You may also rate the book on the platform if you've read it. There is, in fact, if you look at the bottom of the cover page, you would see there that you can rate the book. And we know that if you've read the book, you'd want to give it 5 stars. So please go ahead and do that. We don't know if people have any questions or challenges. This is an opportunity for us to address those issues as well. But other than that, there is another platform known as goodreads.com. So you may also want to go to goodreads.com and give this book 5 stars if you feel very strongly, and I think you do, that the book deserves 5 stars. So go to goodreads.com and just type Boundless and put Kevin's name there as well, because there's so many titles with Boundless. So again, we encourage you to, again, keep sending those, orders, putting in your orders. We look forward to fulfilling them. For those who want their copies to go to Cameroon, please let us know exactly where it's going to. I haven't heard anyone buy for Sacred Heart or Lords. Any takers in the house? PSS Mancon, please. If you have
PSS Bafford, I think there was a PSS that I saw, but I've not seen Mancon Sacred Heart,
any
Our Lady of
Seika,
Lourdes.
we need somebody to send this book to Seika. People, the young ladies in Seika should read about it, I think. We need copies in Boya as well, BHS. We need copies to go to Sase. Any Sase people in the house? Too much grammar? So please, again, we encourage you to buy for these different institutions. We also, I think, ENS Bambili, are there people here from who were formerly of ENS Bambili? So I think they should. By the way, that used to be Kevin's hometown. I think she must have spent her childhood there, right? So we need copies in Bambili so that they know that their little girl has done something great for the world. So please, if you are from Bambili or have ties to Bambili, make sure that every institution in Bambili has a copy of this book on their shelves. CPC, we haven't heard any CPC takers. CPC, okay. How about PSS Badibu? 2 places, 1 chance. Any Badibu people here? I know Mabry has already done a big one for the book. Again, we're just encouraging you to support our author. Just like the moderator said at the very beginning, when you purchase from our website, you're supporting the author. You're also supporting independent publishing like we do. She didn't quote the number, but Amazon would take almost close to 50% cut for every book that is sold. So just know that it's convenient, but it doesn't help the author and it doesn't help those of us who are publishing her as well. And so we encourage you to support us as well as support the author by buying directly from us. For those who plan to fulfill their pledges, I will just conclude here by saying, please send your details to us. You have our WhatsApp connection there. Send us your details and send us the money, and then we will do the needful at our end. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, SPS, for all you do for us as authors, for us as readers, for the continent and its intellectual development. So now we are going to open the floor for questions and answers. I know some of you have been burning with questions and answers. And one, if I have the opportunity, which I think I have as a moderator, is to ask the author, 10 years ago, you were young. And 10 years ago is not when you wrote the book, it's when the book was published. So you wrote the book over 10 years ago. What was going on in your mind? What motivated you? What got you there?
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for that question, Mali. Before I answer your question, again, a big thank you to everyone. Just putting that out there. Thank you so much for the love and the support. I really, really appreciate. Thank you so much. Having said that, I have always been very interested in historical fiction. It has always been a passion of mine. And I've realized that I learn better when there's not the pressure of thinking about memorizing stuff or thinking about learning as an academic endeavor, which is great, but sometimes it's just easier to learn history when it's in spaces aren't that don't give you that kind of pressure like a classroom. So I realized that I learn a lot of other people's history when I read novels about what happened. And I thought, why not write a novel about my own history? This way, other people can learn about my history. And also, I can help other people get another viewpoint of how it would have been like for a girl, a young girl, living at a time when there were so many negatives against women in very different ways. And so I thought about all of this. And quite frankly, like I always tell my family, sometimes stories just write themselves. I'm just the medium through which the writing happens. I think Boundless was one of such stories because I would really think that I wanted the story to move in this direction, but for some reason, I would find it moving in the other direction. I would feel like this was the direction it should move in. And so I would just say that it's because at that time, I wanted to document Cameroonian history. And in documenting this history, I knew that one of the ways of doing this would be through a novel, because then I could also play with the creative license. And I could also document aspects of my culture, my tradition, and have all of this work in a space where my voice could be heard about my feelings in relation to topical issues like gender issues, issues of patriarchy, but also issues of cross-cultural interactions. And so I used to think about that. And as the years have gone by, I have again seen how relevant this is, especially given the climate that we live in today's world. I think it's really very important to think about how there is more that unites than divides us as human beings.
Thank you. Let me see if there are any questions in the chat. Comments? No. So while there are no questions, I still take the advantage and opportunity to ask you these questions. Given that this book is very relevant, at least I see it as relevant today. I see it's true that the book had a colonial tinge to it. And migrations and mobilities these days are not necessarily called colonial, but you find people now being forced to move, to be mobile, either within their country or out of their country, and still leaving love behind, not necessarily just people, love in the different shades that you can find it. If you were to rewrite Boundless today, do you think you still write the same book, or do you think something will change?
Okay, thank you very much. I think a bit of both. I'd probably still write the same book, but then I would probably emphasize a few things more. So it would be the same story, it would be the same characters, but maybe I would stress more the international travel element that I bring into the story through Maine. Maine is in Cameroon, but then he moves to England, and that way I can show different cultural ways of building society. And I think that one of the things I would do is focus more on really juxtaposing those two in a way where it would be clearer how issues of identity in relation to maybe gender, region of origin, ethnicity, and all of that come together. I think that I would really stress that a bit more. Maybe instead of talking about Carl, because I did bring in Carl to show another dimension of how it may be beyond Cameroon, it may be the Western region, but you've got a whole different culture in England as opposed to the USA. And so I think that I would probably have talked about the situation that was apparent then about Cameroonians who, under the colonial regime, were sent to study in England and maybe in France too, because that was the colonial history. Maybe bringing a bit of the indigena into the whole picture and see, you know, how that could expand upon the issue of mobility and travel.
Okay, I have a question in the chat. I'm just going to improve your question a little bit, Dr. Gerard Nzikinto. And the question is, are you by any chance the protagonist in the story in Boundless? And I will ask, how do you divide the author from the protagonist in the play? Are they related? Is there any part of the author in that protagonist?
Oh, yeah, of course. There's a part of the author, but not just in the protagonist, in many of the characters. And having said that, at the same time, I will clearly say, no, I am not the protagonist. But that's my own point of view. I'll let the readers decide if I am the protagonist or not. However, the way I think about it, no, I don't think that I am, because at some point, I think Samarah is a little too assertive for me, like especially thinking about the setting at that time. A lot of the things that I've written about, the way I characterize Samarah, well, this is what I would aspire to be at that time. I don't know if I would have the courage to be this at that time. So yeah, so if you think about the protagonist as an aspiration of mine, then yeah, maybe. But in terms of the reality, some parts. And having said that, I think it's, for me, differentiating between the characters. So normally when I'm writing for characterization, I actually take time and create characters. I take time and I have like a board where I figure out the character, not just the naming or the labeling of the character, but actually the personality of the character. I actually have like, you know, a board where I fashion the characters before I start using them in the story. That way it's easy for me to give them their identities, their personalities. And so you don't have like caricatures duplicating all the time.
Okay. I have two questions I'm going to read out, and once I'm done, you will wait. And then Mr. Martin Jumbam asks his question, and then you answer. We are doing really good with time. We have about 20 minutes to go, so I will allow people to ask their questions overtly. But before I give the floor to Mr. Martin Jumbam, who himself is an author, and Summer Phase 2 is coming in, let me ask these questions. What made you want to write the book? And another person said, for every cloud, there is a silver lining. Is it that you saw a silver lining in a cloud that made you want to write the book? I don't know if you want to answer this, because Mr. Jumba may have a comment and a question which may take another time. So take a minute or two and answer these two questions.
Okay, all right, thank you so much. Well, what made me want to write the book? Well, I generally just felt like I should write a book. And I think that at some level, a part of me, I've always been a writer. I've been crafting and writing stories ever since I was really young, really small. So it's always been a part of me. But however, choosing to write a historical fiction was because I was I really loved history, and I wanted to mix two things that I loved, literature and history, together. And that was the birth of Boundless. Also, I wanted to just explore what it would be like if I were born in that time. I've always been fascinated by time travel. I do write a bit about time travel when I write sci-fi. But in this case, I didn't want it to really be a situation where the character traveled back in time. I just thought about situating the character within a different time slot and, you know, figuring out how it would be like, developing themes, especially in relation to gender, but also thinking about the current situation in Cameroon and tracing its roots to what happened before. My vision for Boundless is, it's like the first, it talks about colonialism, but I'm really hoping that with time I can write a sequel that focuses independence, and then another one that focuses the issues that we have right now, so that way it has over 100 years of history, Anglophone Cameroonian history. So I guess that was it. And then in terms of the second one, for every cloud, there's a silver lining. Okay, yes, I think that this kind of guided me again. This book, I wanted this book to be a book, not just of reality, but one of hope. Again, even though it was said in the past, it deals with issues that are very important for the present too. And since Samarah, like I said, is a microcosm of a whole people, in writing the book, I think this corresponds to the last line of the book, because the last line talks about the wish for her country to have a fairy tale ending, like she did. And I think this is it. I think this was more my cry for my country to have a fairy tale ending. And in that sense, I would say yes, a lot of it was really motivated by the idea that, to every dark cloud, there is a silver lining. May not come in the package we want, may not happen the way we perceive it or the way we want it, but having hope of a possible future that is different from the present and is better for everyone is where I was going with that.
Okay, so Mr. Martin Jumbam, if you can unmute yourself.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
All right, great. Well, Kefen, it's a great pleasure to see you again.
It's a great pleasure to see you too, Uncle.
I think it was in March of this year, I believe, or somewhere in March or so, that we met at Notre Dame, in Indiana. I really a pleasure to see you and to have your book. I have your book in my hand here. I know over 10 years ago, you stopped by at the American Language Center in Douala, and you left us a copy of the original, of the first copy of this book. I wasn't able to read it, shame on me, but my daughter pounced on it and I never saw it again. So I believe she read it. So I'm happy now I have this copy. I assure you I'm going to read it. And I'm really glad to see you. I know we had quite a long discussion when we met in Notre Dame, and I was quite happy to see you there. I was in school with your mother in Kasbamili. I knew your father, so, I came to Bamili when your mother was teaching in the Colonial or something like that, or in Kasbamili, I don't remember. My brother was there teaching too, Mr. Bonfen. Peace to his soul. And so we've known, I wouldn't say that I've known you for that long, but I saw you people when you were very small. I think you and your sisters and brother. So I'm happy to be here. And I thank Spear's book because when I was coming to Indiana, and how did I even get to Indiana? Just very quickly, Madam Moderator, if you don't mind. I came through, was Dr. Professor Joyce Ashuntantang, who connected me with some people who were looking for Catholic writers to attend a Catholic conference in Notre Dame in Indiana, and that's where I met you. And we had quite a long discussion, almost the whole afternoon. It was very fascinating. So I'm really glad to see you here. And I'm happy to participate in this. And I thank Spears Media for all this connection between writers as well. If I had not been in Spears Media, I might not have known Professor Ashuntantang, who connected me to the to that meeting. So we learned to help each other. And it was not a question. The moderator was just this comment. I probably am doing it a little sooner than you would have liked me to do, but I'm glad, to be able to talk to you. And great moderation. Madam Atanga is great. And I remember your poem in Bearing Witness. I'm probably going out of this. When we launched Bearing Witness, you had a great poem at the end of that book, which brought hope in the midst of all the destruction that was on there. So I'm happy to see.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Glad to be a writer in Spears Media. I mean, I do a lot of things with, we share a lot with Professor Jude. I'm happy for the support they give all of us. So hey, let me not monopolize too much time. Kefen, I'm happy to see you again. God bless. Bye-bye.
Thank you very
Thank
much. I'm
you.
so happy to see you too. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jumbam. Thank you. And there's another question in the chat. Let me see. What is the importance of the novel on the education of the girl child in our present day society? I think that question cannot be overemphasized. And I'd like for you to expand that question to look at one point, we would have thought that a girl child has been empowered. And empower is such a term that sometimes I have a problem with it because it requires another agent to give them power. But in your case, this girl really isn't empowered. She is powerful. How do you look at that powerful girl against empowering a girl, which gives power to a boy or a man? I want to look at women who are intrinsically powerful like you rather than some male agent empowering them. I'd like for you to talk more about Samarah, who is intrinsically powerful, not empowered by her mother or her father. Tell us more.
Oh, thank you so much. And I think you just helped me answer the first part of the question by talking about the intrinsic power in her. I think that's a very important lesson for the girl child today. The idea that you have the capability and you have the capacity and to follow your dreams. And I am an example of that. Many women here are an example of that. Here, I mean, in this launch, an example of that. And I guess that's one of the key messages. Like you pointed out, Samarah really doesn't have anyone giving her anything. Life doesn't give anything to her. She takes what she needs to take from life. And I think that's a lesson that many of our children, especially girl children, need to learn. I think that the book does that. There's this part of the book where Yenla, who's Samarah's mom, tells her a wise woman rules a man and makes the man think he's ruling her. So that is just that's one thing that Yenla tells her daughter, and I think that that's it. Power can come in various shapes and in various forms. What matters is the idea that Samarah never won. She grieves, she mourns, she has a lot of tragedy in her life, but she doesn't let this stop her. This becomes something that fuels her to do a lot more. Every time she meets an obstacle, she finds a way to overcome it. Does she overcome all the obstacles all the time? Definitely not. But she learns from them. And through this learning, she too thinks about different ways of helping others learn from what she has learned from. There's this other instance where I really focus the issue of women's roles and identities in a traditional setup, especially among many ethnic groups in Cameroon. And there's this situation where she actually speaks truth to power in relation to a young girl who's given into marriage, and it's an abusive relationship. But what I'm saying is, through her life, so the book doesn't tell girls to become powerful. I think through Samarah, girls learn about the intrinsic power that they have and how they can wield this power in different ways. Something that you, Professor Atanga, have talked about when you've talked about soft power. And I think that that is actually the message. Power doesn't have to be forceful all the time. It doesn't have to be water hitting against a stone till it breaks it. It can be water just going around a stone and finding its way. And I think that that's the message that I think many girls can learn from thinking about Samarah as a girl.
I think one of the things that we do to empower our girls, or the so-called girls' education, as if it should be different from a boys' education, is just letting the girls go through the life that the boys go through without discrimination, letting them have those roles and those positions and that power. Samarah is that girl who loses her family, loses her networks, but then manages to acquire power for herself. And I think this is something that just giving that a copy of that book to your daughter to read is part of that power that we're building. Or even just reading about the author of Boundless, I think is part of that power. So thank you very much, Dr. K, for all you do. And I'm checking in the chat. Okay, there's Bridget Table. This is an interesting discussion. When Mabry comes in, I know something good is coming. She said, in this case, power for women or the girl child really becomes agency, the ability to make her own decisions as well. Yes. One thing we have learned is that we give our girl children the power to be themselves, to decide who they are, not to be held down by stereotypes and cultures, but expose them to all the possibilities for them to have the agency, let me borrow Mabry's word, to make choices for themselves and be responsible for those choices that they make. And for a girl like Samarah, when we listen to Mr. Mokom read, Samarah did make an acknowledgement. She said she has to move on. She still loves the people in her past, but she is not going to stay in the past. Her future is ahead of her, and she will move on with her new life, relationships, and her feelings, acknowledging the feelings that she has against the reason, the stereotypes that stop her from feeling the feelings that she has. So I think this is a very important discussion. And as people read the book and they go through the book, they will be able to look at these different themes, the historical themes, the gender themes, the societal themes, and all of that, and navigate these as they go through the book. We are 4 minutes to the top of the hour, and we are doing really good. And there is room for one last comment or question before we close, including room for the publishers. So
I have a question, can I?
yes.
So I love historical fiction, and each time I read one, I want to research more and know something. So I want to find out, like, how did you go about researching this? You know, you're a young writer. None of us lived during the colonial time. How did you go about researching and writing around that time period, both from the UK side and also from the Cameroon side?
Thank you very much for that question. Well, first of all, I consulted a lot of historical documents. I actually read a lot of historical documents written about Cameroonian history spanning the time from 1840s, when Ambasbe was a big thing, all the way to the present, just to have a feel of the landscape and to situate the story within that era. So there was a lot of research I did in terms of that. The next thing I did was consult people who were steeped in the Noni culture. So the book, even though it's set in the land of Chofwa, Chofwa happens to be the name of a quarter in Jotun in Noni, where my family comes from. And I talked to my grandmas, I talked to my grandnaunties, I talked to a lot of people steeped in the culture. Again, so that I could actually write stuff that resonated with many people, especially with people and names that were located in that area. So there was that too. There was the ethnographic part of the research where I got to really talk to people steeped in the culture, where I drew from my own experiences as part of that culture, but also as a Cameroonian who studied history in school. And then the third thing I did was, the third thing I did was consult, I'd lived in England for a bit. I'd visited England before I published the book. So I think that kind of helped with describing the places and the landscapes and kind of building a picture around that. Of course, it was very different from how it had been in the 1900s, but the fact that I had that ethnographic experience again was helpful, because then when I got to think about the historical documents, it was easier for me to craft an idea about how the landscape could have been. But again, I consulted a lot of history books, world history books, because I was talking about the First World War in detail. So I did a lot of consultation for that too. So it is a work of fiction, but there's a lot of history in it too.
Thank you very much, Lee. That was, I think, the most important question, because it's not just fiction. It's not just someone who sits in their bed and just dreams up something and writes. It's creative fiction, creative history, creative, I don't know. It's fiction, but it's creative. So, and it's historical. I'm babbling. Maybe it's time to go. Thank you so much.
Mali, just before you go, there's one last comment that just came in that I think we can end with.
Mabry. In this case, powerful
no,
women.
The next one.
Oh, no, okay. Valentine Jamdon, is vision more powerful than chance in writing? The case of the making of a catapult in Boundless and the big revolutionary catapult in Bamenda 2 years later. That is a question.
I don't know. I don't know. I have found that sometimes I write about stuff and then it comes to happen sometimes. And I got so scared at one point I stopped writing. But then my dad, God rest his soul, when I told him about it, he told me, no, keep writing. There's a reason why you write about stuff like this. But in this particular case, I don't know. I have no answer.
I think writers are visionaries. I think writers and musicians are prophets. I think a lot of people have written or sung music that comes to pass in the future. So yes, keep writing. And thank you, Dr. Buji, for bringing us here together. Thank you, all of you who came, who found 2 hours on a Saturday afternoon to be present. And most especially, thank you, Spears Publishing, for bringing our stories to life, for bringing our writings to life, for highlighting our stories and our histories and our research and everything. Thank you all so much. Notwithstanding, we are going to officially close the book launch now. And this is 1 minute past 2 hours. That was very good. But we will keep the Zoom link open again for a bit for informal conversation. And I think the control room is going to unmute people. So if you want to talk, please, it's good to raise your hand before you talk so we don't have a cacophony. Everyone is now free to contribute. And this time around, it doesn't have to be about Boundless. You don't have to have read the story. You can just talk with the author and get to know the author. Thank you all so much. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the love. Thank you, moderator, for doing such a fabulous job. Thank you, readers, for bringing the book to life. Thank you, Spears Media, especially Grandpa Jude, for all the planning and all the work, and Ma Lillian for all the help too, especially with the Menti. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mabry, for the book, for teaching it in your class. Thank you so much for the faith you've had in the book. Thank you, everyone, family, friends, groups. Thank you so much.